the last time Brighton visited Anfield, there was a dark cloud hanging over the football club because it was 63 days earlier. Salah's future was uncertain. It was the last appearance for the club before the African Cup of Nations. It was unclear going into that game whether he was going to say goodbye temporarily or permanently, because it was just after that Lee's mix zone interview that he gave. And of course, he's come back. And it's good to see Mo Salah looks like playing with a little bit more freedom, enjoying himself. Against Brighton, he scored a goal, provided an assist, and won a penalty in the first game, in a single game for the first time since 2018. Some of these stats, Jermaine, I was reading this morning, were pleasantly surprising. He's got 15 goal assists for Salah this season in all competitions, and he obviously missed a month because of AFCON. Saka 14, Doku 14, Palmer 12, and Bremo 12. So, I mean, his numbers this season, in a bad season for Salah, are better numbers than some other players who are, possibly by their, in the...
By their fans, the best,
you know what I'm trying to say.
Best players in the league, and you got star boys. It's crazy that we're sitting here, and we've all done it, kind of disappointed of what Salah has been this season.
And I think we are still right to
No, we are. But do you know what? Why? Is because over the past 8 years, he's been phenomenal. And anything short of that, we look at it as a bad season. But this, like stats now, are people's star players' best seasons. He's doing his stats now on the worst season that we've ever seen Salah have is better than everyone's main starters, Saka's, like I said, Bremo, Doku, Palmer. And I think, are we being harsh? But is it because he set the bar so high that anything less is just not good enough? If we were to sign a new player, they'll probably give out these kind of numbers right now.
I think maybe it's a little bit, but I do think, I think some people, and I know non-Liverpool fans that would say that Mo Salah is in the conversation to be top 2, 3, 4, 5 best players in the Premier League era. Not just Liverpool, but in the whole Premier League era. That's sort of how good he's been. So I do think naturally when there's a drop-off from being on that pedestal and winning Liverpool the Premier League, 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever it was, and there is a drop-off, naturally people are going to be critical, right? And that's fair. And there was in the first 6 months, there was a drop-off. There's no doubt about that.
No, 100%. And I think that's probably why we are being a little bit critical, because we've seen such amazing football and amazing stats, goals, assists, almost every game. As soon as you stop seeing that, you start questioning, is he losing it? Has he lost it a bit? But again, the team's in a transformation period. They're still learning. He's missing one of his key allies, and that was Trent, what he used to serve. So there's going to be a slight dip.
An off-ball work as well, Jermaine, something that Arne Slot praised on the weekend. Clear to see that last season he didn't track back, but almost it was fine because he was scoring a goal every game and getting an assist every game. But I've noticed last couple of games a lot more defensive work as well, so contributing the team in that way as well, which I think is very important.
Yeah, you have to, especially when we're being so vulnerable. You need every man on that pitch helping out defensively, getting back in shape, tracking back, stopping the left back or the winger get a free run at full backs. And obviously, there's no surprise that we are keeping clean sheets now when everyone's working in sync.
Paul, this might be a long goodbye for Mo Salah. Probably likely that he does leave the club in the summer. But if it is going to be a long goodbye, it's so important, isn't it, that this legend of the football club sort of gets the send-off that he deserves. And you were there Saturday night when he got substituted. It was a standing ovation.
Yeah, and obviously what he's done in the past will speak for itself. I keep seeing these things on the internet, on social media as well, of before Salah. And it's just all the records before Salah with all different names. Then it's got after Salah, and it's just Salah right down them all. He smashed every record since he's been here. Looking at his stats now, obviously it's not as good as last year. Last year, 29 goals, 18 assists. But this year, as you say, 4 goals, 6 assists. He's obviously doing a lot better than some of the players. And I don't want to start this slanging match with Arsenal fans and everything else, but we see it with Saka, his numbers recently. And he's one of their, obviously, most spoken about players, Arsenal. They're looking like they're going to win the league, possibly this year. The favourites for it, they should, from this position. But he's not putting up the numbers what Salah's putting up even this season. And Salah's having a terrible season, as people would say, as Jermaine just said, to his standards. Any other player would be happy with them stats. But because he's Salah, obviously he's broken all the records and his numbers are always consistently so high. People mentioned about his pace, or maybe him losing a little bit of a yard. There's a few clips going around now from the weekend of the pace that he still has at 34 years of age. So he's been unbelievable for us. He's him, Alisson, Van Dijk. I think the three players that technically turned everything around for Liverpool during the Klopp era, obviously, and with Klopp, it wasn't just them and everyone that contributed to it. But he will be missed when he's gone, and he does deserve definitely, as after what he's done for the club, the city, and the fans, he does deserve that send off.
Yeah, 100%. It would have been an absolute travesty if he left in January after that Leeds mix zone interview. That's just not like he deserves. However we finish the season, whether it's top 4 football, 2 trophies, 0 trophies, of the Kop singing his name, there's no doubt about that. Also, the assist for Szoboszlai's goal was majestic, wasn't it? I mean, technically, it was a kind of long ball that came across to him on the right-hand side. Szoboszlai makes that run. First time Christian pass into the space of Szoboszlai to run into. I mean, technically, how difficult is it to get the weight of that pass to perfection? It was beautiful.
Well, I think when you're as good as these players are now, and you've got all the technical ability in the world, it's not that hard as it looked. They made it look easy.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. But I guess when you've got that ability, you can manipulate that ball to be able to put it in his path on the run, not change his stride first time. And when you've got a player like Szoboszlai who can strike the ball the manner he does, it all comes together and works nicely. But again, it's nothing new. We've seen Salah do these kind of assists all for his career at Liverpool. Right foot, left foot, on someone's head, when they're running into the path of the goal, whatever it may be, outside the foot, and that's what he's got in the locker. And I think, we will start seeing the best of Salah now, because he looks like he's happy now. Yeah. He looks like he's find a bit of form and turn that corner. He's definitely turned that corner now.
Imagine if...
I'm just reading a quote here from James Pearce saying Mo Salah's adapted since returning from AFCON. He's winning possession more frequently and creating more, as you just said, Sam. It was telling that Slot praised his work off the ball against Brighton. And if this looks like the long goodbye, he looks determined to sign off with a bang.
Well said. Well said. Yeah. I mean, we didn't need James on the show, did we? After that, he wasn't gonna top his athletic piece, was it? But no, it does look like, Paul, that Salah, he has got the bit between his teeth, doesn't he? I mean, also probably even when he went off, there was no sulking, was there? Big smile on his face.
Yeah, he looks probably accepting of his future. If he knows he's going to be going, and then at least give everything you've got left for the remainder of the time that you're here, and sign off on a high, or as high as you can possibly sign off with the club. And he'll always be a Liverpool icon, legend. He'll always be welcomed in the city. He'll always be thanked in the city, especially people like me who've watched us go through that drought. Will always be grateful to him for what he's contributed to the club. And as you say, if he knows at the end that he knows he's signing off, then why not make it the best sign-off that you can possibly have, or make it the best finish that you can have from this point in time. He's a phenomenal player. He's been unbelievable for Liverpool. And I remember when we were signing, thinking he didn't really make it at Chelsea. I can't see him going to make it here from Roma. And again, delighted to be completely wrong about him. I probably said the same about Sadio Mane as well. I think I mentioned.
You're not like a Messi, Paul, isn't it?
I think I mentioned about signing another player from Southampton, thinking like, why are we doing this again? And then, honest to God, I never said a word after that.
But we've all been there. So we've got Mo Salah finding fault. We know that Ekitike has kind of been consistently quite good throughout the season. Wirtz, we've spoken about on the show, looking like a top player again. If we can get, when Isak comes back, if we can get Isak to a similar sort of level of what he showed at Newcastle over the last kind of couple of seasons, which for me is one of the deadliest, most lethal strikers in world football. How does Arne Slot get all of these players in the same team? Because it's going to be a nice headache to have, isn't it? Trying to get those 4 players in the same team. Can he get all 4 of those players in the same team?
I think he can. I think if you're playing Isak down the middle, there's no reason why Ekitike can't drift off on the left and come inside, because he likes to come inside. Sometimes you see him out there and drifting inside as well. So, it wouldn't be a bad decision to change Gakpo.
That's some front 4, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, Isak becoming in a team now that looks more settled and functioning. The start of Isak's career in Liverpool, they were awful. They were out of sorts. There was no rhythm, there was no cohesion, there was nothing working. And it's difficult with a new player coming in with no pre-season into a fold like that. Now everything looks like it's starting to gel. And if you add Isak into that mix now, come back fitter, come back fresher, you know, it's a good thought to have. You know, we saw a little glimpse of it before that terrible, before that terrible injury, the goal he scored against Spurs. That's Isak. That's what we got him for. And obviously he got that terrible injury, but you know, hopefully he comes back.
Timing his return, Jermaine, for the last 16 of the Champions League, which is good.